It's that time again. Time for another chapter of Black Clover. And after last week's shocking cliffhanger, we know you've all been dying for this chapter just as much as we have. So let's not waste any more time and get right into chapter 335, titled Severance. Kicking things off exactly where the previous chapter left off, we see Asta as he falls through the sky. His blood is everywhere except where it should be. And standing over him are the two triumphant true humans, Lucius Zogratis and Sister Lily. That's right folks, if you missed out on last week's chapter, I would highly advise you to go back and read it. You're missing out on a lot of things. Lucius' hand is drenched in the hero's blood, and his face is a menacing grin as he watches Asta land on a nearby roof with a thud. With his chest cut open pretty deep and coughing up blood, it looks like this is the end for Asta. He's faced by two exceptional opponents and is gravely injured. What could he possibly do to survive this situation? But this is the hard-headed and stubborn Asta that we're talking about here, and he is definitely not one to give up no matter the situation he's in. As he tries to stand and keep fighting, the hero, or as Lucius insists on calling him, the flaw of this world, coughs up blood while telling the two he isn't done just yet. However, Lucius says otherwise. While reversing time on his hand to cleanse the blood off, he tells Asta not to be stubborn. He doesn't even have the strength to move anymore. And after all, what's the point of struggling when apparently you only have a few minutes left to live? Now perhaps Lucius' estimate as to how long Asta had would have turned out to be true if it weren't for Noelle flying onto the scene side by side with Nero while also pulling along a startled Mimosa. And now before we get into the action that ensues, be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on so never miss an upload, and smash that like button for some plumber today. Jumping right into the fight and already fully powered in her Valkyrie armor, Noelle, in an attempt to catch the true humans off guard, fires off a water spell at their backs while also sending Mimosa off to try and heal Asta. Surprisingly, it's not Lucius that turns around and stops the attack, but instead, Sister Lily who displays spatial magic. Lily is known to have water-based magic, so of course, this is quite the shocking turn of events. Even Noelle is caught off guard for a moment. Lucius is quick to explain what the trio just witnessed. After all, he can't exactly be a true villain if he doesn't love monologuing. You see, the power Sister Lily just displayed was actually Beelzebub's power of spatial magic. Known to be one of the most powerful devils in the underworld, and the devil contracted with Lucius' late younger brother Zenon Zogratis, it makes us wonder, why is his power showing up here of all places? Not to worry though, because Lucius has all the answers. As he continues his monologue, he goes on to explain that he incarnated and purified Beelzebub using his soul magic. This statement also helps clarify to Noelle that although this man may look like the Wizard King, he most definitely is not. After all, the Julius she knows and tolerates uses time magic. The fact that Lucius was able to purify Beelzebub using his soul magic and transform him into an actual magic source without consequence is a pretty big development, especially when you take in that he's probably done the same to his contractor Astaroth. This could possibly debunk previous theories that say Lucius is being influenced by the time devil within him. If Lucius has purified Astaroth like he claims to have with Beelzebub, this could mean everything he plans is entirely his own with zero outside influence. Which is honestly quite terrifying. Although with the power of time magic, one should be able to evade such an exploit. What's even more frightening is the fact that Beelzebub and Astaroth aren't the only devils this Spade Kingdom wizard has purified. As he says in his own words, he's taken control of the remaining supreme devils within the underworld, including the more powerful ones that occupy the lower levels. Although small, this little piece of information fits into the puzzle of Lucius' plan perfectly, as we now understand why he waited the whole year and 3 months following the events of the Spade Kingdom arc. It's highly likely that Lucius was spending all that time back and forth from the underworld, battling it out with devils and purifying them with soul magic for later use. It would have been a treat to see this go down on paper, but Lucius, off-screening what was up until now a major threat for those within the world of Black Clover, is yet another testament to how powerful he truly is. I mean, our heroes on their best day couldn't even do that. And furthermore, this may go on to explain why there were those devils around the borders of the Clover Kingdom. It may not be that they sought to invade or attack, they were simply fleeing. With the devils that inhabit the underworld defeated and purified with soul magic, Lucius plans to use them to ascend the human race to its next level. Thanks to the devils, his new reborn version of humanity will be equipped with nearly invincible bodies and endless wisdom to tag along with that. Bringing it all back to Sister Lily, Lucius confirms that she is the first of this new race, the Paladins as he dubs them. In his twisted vision, these Paladins will be the one fighting on behalf of the world. And of course, he shall lead them, but not as the final Wizard King, something he had declared before. That title is now beneath him. Instead, Lucius will be known as the greatest Wizard King. So yeah, his hubris and ego are on another level entirely. And they only seem to rise as time passes. Now, with his full plan revealed, I believe it is interesting to point out that what Lucius has in mind for the devils goes completely against his family's philosophy towards them. The Zogratis family is a long line of devil hosts that believe in giving their bodies up and bringing the devils into the surface world. Essentially, they are just hosts to be used by their respective devils. But Lucius has the opposite in mind. He wants to use the devil's power to advance the human race, essentially using them as a stepping stone. And so I wonder how his siblings would react upon hearing his true plans. Back to Asta, he manages to hear Lucius's words while bleeding and looks up, gritting his teeth in what could be disgust. After all, the villain is tarnishing the prize title of Wizard King that Asta strives to achieve, and in the current Wizard King's body no less. Also done with listening to the madman, Mimosa rushes in, donning her ultimate magic form in an attempt to start healing Asta. However, Sister Lily swiftly puts a stop to that and the rest of the trio's plans, encasing them in a cube of spatial magic, one that unravels their magic due to space being severed within it. It may be sickening to read, but Sister Lily actually praises Lucius, calling his magic magnificent, as it even allowed someone like her to use such powerful magic. Keeping the trio encased within her magic, Lily tells them not to worry, as they too will see that Lucius is truly righteous. And truly, it is quite a sight to see Sister Lily of all people holding back 3 magic knights while also telling them the villain, in this case Lucius, is in the right. Now facing Asta, who is breathing heavily and is drenched in sweat, she apologizes and tells the young wizard, who was just proposing to her a moment ago, that his death will usher in true peace to this world. And while Noelle stands at the edge of her barrier and yells to stop, Lily activates her magic and engulfs Asta in a large light. It would make sense for Lily to kill Asta here, since that is her and Lucius's goal. But when looking at her new magic type and a spell she performs later on, I believe it is more likely Lily teleported Asta somewhere else so that he can be eliminated properly. To the others, however, it looks as if Sister Lily just killed Asta, a truly shocking sight. While the present magic knights watch on in shock and horror, Lucius hovers in front of them and delivers a message. Now that the flaw of this world has been eliminated, Lucius's judgment day will come in 7 days. It will be the final crusade on the human race, and once it is over, will bring about a world without any foolish and unnecessary strife. Now missing their key player in the upcoming battle, the Clover Kingdom might not be able to stand against Lucius and his paladins. In fact, their outcome is already decided, and it looks like they are destined to lose. That is, if we are to trust Lucius when he says that he has already foreseen the outcome in his visions. But nevertheless, the remaining Magic Knights will fight against Lucius to the very end, something we don't need Lucius's future sight to confirm. Following that bold statement, we finally see the Magic Knight captains as they arrive on the scene. That is, only to see their beloved Wizard King behind the chaos and damage. As the other captains rush forward while questioning if the person in front of them is truly the Julius they know and love, Yami, in an instance that perfectly reflects the scene in which he witnessed Julius's death, yells out to the Wizard King, doing so rather respectfully. Only for Lucius, the soul that now holds control of their shared body, to give his signature menacing grin before he and Sister Lily teleport away, thus ending the chapter. It's important to note that although he may have a different magic type and key, Lucius understandably looks just like Julius. After all, they do share a body. Whatever the case, I cannot wait until next week's chapter. With the opening to the final arc now complete, I am very excited to see where Tabata can go with the series finale. But please let us know what you think about this action-filled chapter. And what exactly do you think may have happened to Asta here? As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.